Hello, and this is Big Man. Welcome to my reaction on MikeyAngryBirds. This is reaction on my latest review on a bunch of SpongeBob games for the Game Boy Advance. Now, first thing I'd like to point out is the title of his video. And it says, and I'll read this out, Me and SpongeBob reaction to SpongeBob SquarePants games for the GBA by Big Bang Bot. The only bit that bothers me is me and SpongeBob reaction. You can't say that in English. You just can't. Surely if this was Spanish, I guess you'd get away with it, because me means my in there. In that language, I believe. But in English, no. Me does not mean my. If it was my and SpongeBob's reaction, that would make more sense. And if it's also if it said me and SpongeBob react, that would also make more sense. But trust me, do you say they eating, they flying, they picking? No, you say they are eating, they are flying, they are picking. I'm not saying me and SpongeBob are reaction, because that sounds wrong. I mean, those are terrible examples, because at the very least, those make sense. But that doesn't. So either change it to my and SpongeBob's reaction, or remove SpongeBob, or put him at the end, like I do when I say feet and then the character, or just say me and SpongeBob react. I mean, when it comes to verb endings in English, it's not really a big deal. I mean, usually the only one that changes is he and she, at least in our language. I mean, I know, like, those Latin languages it changes, and I imagine it may change in, like, German as well, but hey, whatever, that's enough of me complaining about the title. Now I'm going to complain about the description. Now first is, sorry for my iPod's battery die. Now do you say, okay, I'm trying to think what I should say just to prove how wrong that is. It's just so hard. That is like an example of something that's bad. You do not say, my iPod's battery die, if you talk about the past tense. I mean, I'm still trying to think of something I could say to make it so stupid. You wouldn't say, I am eating was. That doesn't make any sense. Now, that was a terrible example, but that was the best thing I could come up with. It was the best thing. But that is just terrible. It's just terrible. I'm not a linguist, but I know that is incorrect. This is my first time reaction. Well, other than no capital on the T, that is fine. Even though he should have put this, but I can forgive that. And his first time triple review. You do not say that. You should have said his first triple review. That's like if I said my first time controller. You do not say my first time controller. You say my first controller was a PS2 controller, not my first time controller was a PS2 controller. No, you do not say that. And my second longest reaction video ever. No, I don't know what his longest is. I think this is his longest, but if he says it is his second longest, then I can forgive that. But if it's not, then get rid of second. And then he says, Who lives in the pineapple under the sea? I'm pretty sure there's more than one pineapple under the sea. I mean, don't tell me there's like one pineapple under the sea. The means one. As in, there's only one. There's no more. Well, for something such as consoles it works, but that's because it's one thing. Surely there's loads of the same thing, but it's still one thing. It's just hard to explain, but when it comes to consoles, it works. But when it comes to food, it doesn't work. I'm pretty sure there's multiple pineapples under the sea. But that's enough of me getting angry at all of his English in the description. I'm just going to watch this. Plus, he's really struggling to get above 220 subscribers, I will say that. It's not necessarily bad things. I know that we're not all perfect, but still, I just wanted to mention it. He's been around 220 subscribers for a while now. However, I just keep shooting up subscribers every day, just like Poopy Pie or PewDiePie. I don't care. He calls himself PewDiePie, so I should be allowed to call him Poopy Pie, right? Oh, I don't know. I just don't care anymore. Well, so I'm just gonna watch this actual reaction video, and I'm thankful that it is an actual reaction video. And oh my, that was annoying. I thought that YouTube froze on me. Hey, just like a certain Disney movie which has the past participle for the word froze. Ha 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 ha. No, that was no. By the way, I've already seen 1 second of this, but it's still a reaction video because 1 second is nothing.
Hello guys, this is MikeyAngryBirds here. So today I will do another Big Bang Bot reaction video. So yeah, so this time
I do wonder why he's never done a reaction video on one of my reaction videos. Oh, probably because he doesn't want to make an extremely long video, but hey, whatever. Although, I think, this is just a personal recommendation for me, but I think you should watch Part 8 of my Jack 2 Let's Play. No, really, I think you should. Because I perform a giant proxy jump. I don't know if it's a proxy jump, I perform a giant jump. And sorry for spoilers if you haven't seen that, and if you want to see that. But, I do this glitch where I do a huge jump, and my reaction was just priceless. And at the end of the video, I show that same thing just in a fourth of the speed. I think you'll find it pretty funny. Maybe. I mean, you found the originality joke with fourth speed funny, but he found the Luigi Death Stare in fourth speed scary, so whatever. I don't know what he'll think of it. Just watch it for yourself, please.
who lives in the pineapple under the sea?
It goes, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? It's not the. I may not have seen the show since... I have not seen the show since forever, but remember, I've just finished off my Let's Play with Battle for Bikini Bottom, which has the theme song in the game, and I have recently watched the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which also has the theme song, just sung by a bunch of pirates, and I'm pretty sure, or I'm 100% sure, that they say, silly person.
It's SpongeBob SquarePants.
SpongeBob is gonna drown. No, SpongeBob is gonna dehydrate, you know. You do realise that SpongeBob can't survive with no water for so long. I mean, if you watch the first episode with Sandy in it, then you will understand how fatal it is to him. And in the GBA, and in SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge, as in the GBA version and the PS1 version, and also the GBA version of Battle for Bikini Bottom, there are levels where you need to collect water in Sandy's tree dome, or else SpongeBob will die. It's fatal. And that's the problem with SpongeBob the Water. The show clearly stated that SpongeBob can't survive out of the water for so long, so they've got to give an explanation on how SpongeBob was surviving out of the water, because if they don't, they're just messing up the show, and that will be bad.
Yes, finally. So he will review 3 SpongeBob games.
Wait, 3 SpongeBob? How does he know that I'm reviewing 3 if it's his first time watching? Oh wait, I think I mentioned it in the description. Oh, I don't know.
Game Boy Advance rather than the PS2 or GameCube. But we have to wait if he's going to review Battle for the Bikini Bottom and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
extremely unlikely, because it will take forever, considering that I don't have the best editing software. And I do not use the editing software that everyone else uses, and surely I can just use the internet, but that will just be lazy. Okay?
We'll do like review 3 games. Yep, 3 games. So let's watch this video. So here we go.
Hopefully he doesn't know what they are at the time he was watching this. Or in that point of time.
Hello, and this is Big Bang Bond. Now, what can I say about SpongeBob?
Other than the fact that SpongeBob is one of the most popular cartoons ever. Possibly.
Well, I don't really want to talk too much about the show, because that's something I don't like doing in my reviews.
Well, Stimpyland did it, but Stimpyland's not me, so that's my excuse. Plus, Stimpyland is a huge SpongeBob Seasons 1 through 3 fan.
SpongeBob was a TV series
which first aired on May 1st, 1999. And just let you know, from my knowledge, the Japanese version of the show, the show didn't come to Japan until 2002. Just wanted to point that out, just because I knew that. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know it was first ever shown off in 1999.
which became incredibly popular, which led to a ton of merchandise.
I mean, every single successful franchise is gonna get a ton of merchandise. I'm pretty sure they've made thousands of Bowsers before you, Bowser. Yeah, well, I don't know about thousands, but they definitely must have made more Bowsers than me. Yeah. Seriously, there's so much SpongeBob merchandise that it's almost as bad as Angry Birds. Possibly even worse, but I don't know. Maybe Angry Birds is worse, I don't know, but Angry Birds just hasn't a terrible amount of merchandise. It's just not funny anymore. And just to let you know, I'm wearing SpongeBob pajamas, which I'm not going to show you because I'm mean.
And OMGOSH.
Oh, I am 12 and a half minutes through this, and I'm only 1 minute through this video. Okay. I might have to upload this in 2 parts, but I'll see what happens. You'll know if it's in 1 part or not.
They have lots of money for that, because my second movie, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, is yet to release this fall.
I thought it was February of 2015.
Oh, winter, I'm pretty excited. Yes, SpongeBob. Yeah, I'm pretty excited since the first movie is so awesome. Now the second one's coming good, because that's Steven Hillsberg as the second producer. I'm pretty happy for that. Yeah.
Trust me, even though that the original creator of SpongeBob may be coming back, and the actors will be coming back, I don't think that'll help. No, seriously, I don't. I mean, I won't be surprised if the movie is received terribly upon release. And while it may be good, to me, but at least to me, and possibly to like other people who are aware of SpongeBob's modern life, it's a teensy tiny chance. And I mean teensy tiny. It's so tiny. It's just tiny. Now I actually liked the later seasons, but I was a stupid kid, so whatever. I haven't seen the show in ages, but all I know is that when I was younger, I liked the later seasons. And I don't know, and I think I feel guilty for that. Especially since that I've actually heard that SpongeBob actually lowers a kid's IQ. And that's sad. Because Battle of Bikini Bottom is like one of the best games ever.
SpongeBob, we're all getting crazy for this.
I'm pretty sure that only you and a bunch of other kids who love SpongeBob are excited for the new movie. I'm pretty sure that everyone else is like, it's another CGI hybrid cartoon to movie adaptation, which is probably going to suck, because practically all of the ones before it suck. I mean, take a look at like Garfield or Alvin and the Chipmunks 2, and you might see what I mean. And possibly some other ones. There are loads of other ones that aren't that good.
A ton of toys, a movie, in fact 2 movies.
You know, Sponge Out of Water is going to be released February 6th. That's like, what?
Even though you said earlier that was going to be released in fall of 2014 or winter of 2014, you big fat liar.
day before the Lego Movie 1 anniversary.
And here's an interesting thing. And I mean an interesting thing. I will be showing you the research, so be angry if you find this boring. Okay, Japanese SpongeBob, where SpongeBob is called Spongy Bobu. Ah! Go on here. Go on Google. That is the Japanese cover for SpongeBob SquarePants Creature from the Krusty Krab. Now that is actually, and in Japan it's just called SpongeBob. Because it was like SpongeBob's first game in Japan. And here's an interesting thing. It's actually it's practically the exact same cover as the British DVD cover for the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. So that's actually pretty interesting. The only thing that's different is the border and the ratings and THQ. But other than that, it's practically the exact same cover. I mean, SpongeBob is like in the same position, and yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. So, yeah, SpongeBob didn't get many games in Japan, and I don't think that's because he wasn't popular. I think that was, I don't know why. Maybe people weren't interested in translating SpongeBob games to Japan. Maybe SpongeBob wasn't the most popular thing in Japan, but SpongeBob is known in Japan. I mean, there are a bunch of Japanese videos of SpongeBob. Not on the games, but on the show, yeah. You'll find a few on the show and the movie. And there's even this Japanese Happy Meal commercial for SpongeBob where there's, like, Japanese Happy Meal SpongeBob toys, and whenever the kids hear SpongeBob talk, they go mental. I mean, it's just crazy.
Birthday.
SpongeBob's birthday is on May 1st, the end. Plus, this year is actually SpongeBob's 15th birthday. It was actually one of the reasons why I made this review. Well, it was mainly because I just wanted to share these games with you, but whatever. That and the new SpongeBob movie is coming out in 2015, which is probably going to suck, but hey, it might be good, but there's a tiny chance that.
Since there's a new one coming out, in case you want to know what.
If I can, I'll try and watch the film. I will try. I promise you guys, I will try.
My thoughts on it's probably going to suck. And it also...
No. It's going to be rocked, like, better than the new seasons. Even though season 4, season 5, and season 6 has some good episodes, well, Pazzi has some, like, a lot of bad ones. Man, I think they're having some...
That's the thing! SpongeBob's reputation! After the movie came out, the movie was mixed. I mean, some people like it, like me and you. Some people think it's okay, like Stimpyland, and other random people hate it. So, yeah.
Just 3...
And after that came all of the other SpongeBob season 4 up to like 9, and people just hate those. So, I don't think that the new movie is going to make SpongeBob any better personally, but if you think so, then good for you, but I just don't have any faith in it in my own opinion. But we all have opinions, and I can respect other people's opinions, except when those people do terrible jobs at explaining their opinions, and treat them like facts, and don't respect anyone else's opinion. Gliger 13 bits.
3 or 2 episodes are pretty good. It has some like smart writing, smart funny moments.
Led to a lot of games, which will be my topic today.
But only on the Game Boy Advance.
Now, the games can range from great, such as the greatness of Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Seriously, go buy Battle for Bikini Bottom right this minute. If you can.
Or they could be very... No.
Creature from the Krusty Krabs. That's a DS port. That's well, we prefer the console ports because the DS port is is it bad or something?
I don't think he's ever played the DS version. Let me just give you an insight on the DS version. The DS version is awful. The game is entirely controlled with the stylus, and it's a platformer. It's very slow, and the stylus and the touchscreen doesn't always work, and the controls don't always work, and it's a platformer. The platforming can be so frustrating because your characters don't always jump, and when they do jump, they jump at the wrong time, and they don't jump fast enough, and you can't turn the characters. You can't actually platform with a stupid stylus as both you're moving and you're jumping. You keep on falling, and in the 4th level, there's even a part that if you beep up, you're beeping up. You either reset the game, or you wait for the time to run out. Unless you didn't kill the enemies, but if you did, then you're beeped. That's at the end of, like, the 4th level. That is terrible game design. Just don't play the DS version, just don't.
It's okay. Yeah, we know it.
I've never played the console version, but all I can say is the DS version is terrible. I mean, the graphics are decent, but the music gets repetitive after a while, and the controls, I just mentioned how awful they are. Plus, poor game design. Overall, it's just not a good game.
No. But I'm not going to take a look at either of those two games. No, instead,
I keep asking you whether you played games or not, and you never tell me, ever.
I'll be looking at some different SpongeBob games.
So here it comes.
I'll be looking at SpongeBob games on the Game Boy Advance. Now, this console was released worldwide back in 2001, well, except for in Korea or China, then you had to wait till 2004. And this system was very successful, and it had a ton of games. And it's a great system. And guess what? Because I just told you, I'll be reviewing SpongeBob games on the system! Yay!
Whoa. First up, it's SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge. Where's the PS1 port?
Remember, this is focused on the GBA SpongeBob games. Plus, I don't own the PS1 version. I still don't have it. I grew up with the GBA version, not the PS1 version.
Now, the first game that I will be reviewing is SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge for the GBA. Now, I already made a review on this game, so let's go and watch that instead.
It's peanut butter jelly time! It's peanut butter jelly time!
Back when I was a dumb 11-year-old. And he actually found that funny! I just want to kill myself. But I won't.
On second thoughts, beat that. I'm just going to play the game.
Oh, wait a minute. Stupid dog. What dog is it? Is it a German Shepherd or a Schnauzer?
It's a golden retriever. Wait! I know that I did a few of the annotations earlier today, but when he favorited this, that was before I made the annotations. So, what the beep happened there? Or was he just calling a stupid dog himself? I don't know.
Don't tell about it. Okay, maybe it's like a pug or something? Sure.
He's a golden retriever, even though he's very white.
SpongeBob.
He's 4 years old and he's stupid.
Aww.
And his name is Monty, even though I like calling him Montwee.
Sorry, it's okay.
And sometimes Darth Montwee. It's something that me and my friends James Hates Creepers came up with when we were younger, and I still go by that. Darth Montwee does sound pretty cool. It's very interesting. I mean, very interesting. I'm just gonna turn this up a bit, and now I can continue watching even though I haven't put SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge in because I'm stupid sometimes. Although it didn't take very long. And I'm just going to keep that third tab when I want to make another joke, or do some more research, something like that.
It is the same in both the G2001. The story is released in 2001.
Yes, the game is released in 2001, even though Wikipedia contradicts itself, which is something I don't like about the site. It says the PS1 version was released on November 5th, 2001 and the GBA version on November 8th, 2001, but on the release date section it says September 21st, 2001. What? You just completely contradicted yourself. Silly old wiki picky. That is annoying. And there was going to be an N64 version, but it was never released, so that's something.
The story is the same in both the GBA and the PS1 version. Well, basically, SpongeBob wants to get Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's signature for Patrick's birthday, because SpongeBob wants to get Patrick the best birthday present ever, but they keep sending SpongeBob on a bunch of random tasks, and SpongeBob's doing these tasks to get Patrick's birthday present. Yeah. The story is nothing special, but I don't care. It's a SpongeBob game. Let's get on to gameplay! Plus, this is like the first multiple review I've done since June of 2012, so, yeah.
Whoa. Since the GBA game, he finally released some GBA games since WarioWare micro game.
If I didn't review that game, then it would have been a 2-year jump for both GBA and multiple reviews.
Mega micro games for the Game Boy Advance. Well, he's playing the Wii U. Well, he can play on the DS. That's a good thing. Hell yeah! Okay, don't say hell. Sorry.
Hey, it's been
But it's easy to record on the Wii U. I don't own the original version. Plus, if you watch more of the video, you can see that my recording with the DS isn't the best, and I don't even have a Game Boy player, so I can't even do that. How dare you be so mean to me, Mikey? How dare you?
2 years since that. In the game, there are a total of 5 worlds, each with 4 levels.
Wasn't that 5 worlds? Like, let me see. Here's my vision. There's only 5 worlds, and
Who's E?
Don't worry, one of the later games I'm gonna review is gonna have even less.
5 worlds each. 5 worlds? Okay.
The game is a simple point A to B platformer.
Yep, it's a 2D platformer, even though it looks like something ripped off to Mario Brothers. Well, probably the only difference is it has SpongeBob on it rather than Mario. Ha! Take that, Mario, you plumber!
So,
I wouldn't call it a Mario Weird ripoff. I mean, compared to something like the Great Gianna Sisters, as in the original, it's nothing like Mario. Are you basically calling every single 2D platformer a ripoff of Mario? Are you calling Sonic a ripoff of Mario? Are you calling Mega Man a ripoff of Mario? Are you calling Castlevania a ripoff of Mario? Are you calling... I don't know anymore. Are you calling... Are you calling Donkey Kong Country a ripoff of Mario? Because according to the context you're using, it turns out, yes, he is. You're making me angry, you know.
oh, that's all I have to say.
I don't know why he's like still continuing on the GBA review, but he's actually used hands. Why not use hands on the... Why not play the PS2 port of SpongeBob Battle for the Bikini Bottom and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie? That's gonna be extremely cool.
The controls are pretty...
Right, unless it's for jokes, I'd rather not use the internet to show my footage.
I'll say released on like 2015 for a celebration of the SpongeBob movie, SpongeBob Water. That's gonna be cool. Yeah, I know. This game is actually released in 2001, and we have to wait.
Basic. You press A to jump, B to use your glove.
Did I see that money guy?
Oh,
What money guy? Oh, that was annoying.
it's been 2 years since that. That's all I have to say.
Released in 2001, and
Move and algebra. Just this game suck. First off, SpongeBob's movement is
Pay attention.
quite slippery.
And it might stop him from playing the game.
Jumping just feels weird, and as for the slam, oh boy. First off, this is more of a problem with the hit detection, but you almost never hit an enemy with it, and even when you do, you
It's a common thing in 2D platformers. It's such a common thing. So are you complaining or not? In fact, let me just say this. In the PS1 version, the spatulas work exactly the same as the rings in Sonic the Hedgehog. So, yeah. In the GBA version, you have hearts. You do get a lot of health in the GBA version. That's something. You'll mostly die from cheap deaths, but don't be surprised if you die a few times.
SpongeBob just randomly decided.
He got the Krabby Patty. He didn't electrocute. He got the difficulty of this game.
Plummet to my death with the butt bounce. This isn't too common, but when it does happen, it can lead to cheap deaths and cheap hits, and it's just annoying. But hey, at least it's less common than it is in Sonic Heroes, so that's cool, I guess.
What? Sonic? Sonic? Yeah, or Sonic. Oh, shut up for that.
Sonic, as in Sonic Heroes. Now, I don't know if there's a problem with all the versions, but in the PS2 version, basically, there are many times when you'd want to, like, either change your characters or do your character's jump, and your character will either change into the wrong character for no reason whatsoever, like you press the button twice, or your character will fly, or your flying character will fly early, even though you only press the jump button once, and sometimes your character will homing attack to their death if you're playing as a speed character. That is so annoying, and I have tried reviewing Sonic Heroes before, and maybe I'll review it again someday in the future, but not now.
On his journey, SpongeBob could find his special abilities, such as the sucking up move, which
From the season 1 episode. I forgot the name. Well, check out Wiki. Be smart. Ow.
you can use to kill
Are you talking about the SpongeBob wiki? I don't know.
enemies, and his basic one is gloves, and there's also sometimes a net. And bubbles, which are probably the most useful ones in the whole game.
As in the power-ups you actually pick up along the way, but guess what? Maybe except for the net, every single power-up in the game only appears in one level. That's right, one level. Wow, that's not very many.
But these special moves are mostly just useless. The special abilities, I don't care. The graphics in the game are okay. I mean,
Even though I prefer the SpongeBob the movie, SpongeBob SquarePants the movie GBA graphics because
Don't worry, I do as well.
they're like pretty good. At least
they have
yeah, I remember the SpongeBob SquarePants the movie for GBA as a kid, like as a 3-year-old man, and I did remember watching the movie when I was like a little kid, and I remember playing the GBA of that game, so that's pretty fine memories. That's cool. Okay, let's continue on. Okay.
It looks like I'll be visiting his memories.
but
I didn't remember play it, so just please be honest to me if I played the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, the video game for the GBA.
pre-rendered style, and while they don't look terrible, they don't look amazing either. I can definitely tell you that. Donkey Kong Country most definitely looks better than this. But it's a GBA game released in 2001, so I
Well, how about Donkey Kong Country games with the GBA? That's pretty cool. I do remember the first one as a kid on the GBA. But I remember playing old
I don't know what to say about the GBA versions, but compared to the original SNES versions, the game looks worse than them.
those NES games because they're actually at the 80s and 90s era in the Super Nintendo game.
And as we all know, he doesn't like anything that's older than him, even though that didn't stop him from calling Diddy Kong Racing a good game, even though I doubt that he's ever played it, and he's still not told me whether he's played it or not. Seriously, does he watch the whole thing or not? I want to know. But maybe it was the wrong time to say because he might have skipped this part. But I usually don't skip parts of your videos, and when I do, it's only like a minute, usually. So please do the same for me. Or just be impatient and do whatever you want. I do care, but if you're impatient, then be impatient. Or impatient.
That's pretty cool. And that's cool. I remember, I play all those stuff. Remember all those stuff from the 90s. Just be patient.
The music in this game is probably the best bit of the game, and that's saying something because the music actually isn't that amazing. I mean, with the exception of the first tune, the music is just above average and not amazing.
Maybe the second tune as well, and the main menu theme is decent. I mean, the first level and the second level, the music for both the first two levels and the first two levels after the first two levels are actually some very nostalgic songs for me. At the very, well, for me anyway. I did mention that bit.
First tune is kind of catchy and I kind of like it. You can have a little listen
That, and it's very nostalgic to me.
yourself. Well, you can't listen to it anymore, so whatever.
I think, and I'm pretty sure it's also similar to the PS1 soundtrack, just a bit different, which is interesting.
The sound effects are okay, I guess. They're basic, but they're not annoying, and there's practically no voice acting. But SpongeBob does make a very weird sound when he jumps. Just listen to this.
Oh my god! What the heck? That noise scared me as a kid. I remember those both games on GBA. Super Sponge and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Yeah, he did mention they played it before. Now he's mentioning that he's played it okay, and now he finds the jumping sound effects scary. Wimp. You're just a wimp. Just like PewDiePie. People find his wimpiness funny.
Are there any bad things
I'm talking about PewDiePie, not this guy.
about the game? Well, first off, the hit detection. The hit detection just sucks.
Yeah, jumping around snails, killing some fish people.
I mean, sometimes it works, but most of the time, or some of the time, it can be...
Depending on the attack. I mean, the glove mostly works, but sometimes you'll hit the enemy, but they'll hit you as well. And as for the butt bounce, that was practically the first time that it was working flawlessly, as in that part of the review. Most of the time, either you get hit, or you and the enemy get hit. It doesn't work.
Annoying. I never usually butt bounce my enemies. I just hit them with my gloves, hoping that I might hit them and they won't hit me, which does.
Oh, not a virus! I hate the darn AVG antivirus thing.
Happen. That's it.
Why are you talking about an antivirus?
Annoying when that happens. Plus, there are loads of cheap enemy placement.
Oh wait, I just remembered something.
Yeah. Whatever he said.
I haven't forgotten about that, MikeyAngryBirds, so be warned. And I mean it, be warned.
And that's just really
Oh,
annoying.
Gary in a hospital car? What the heck?
Gary in a hospital car? What? It would help if... Seriously, sometimes I think that this kid is spoiled, but at the same time I think that he's also not spoiled in other ways. So, I'm just saying these things. Because why
It's
not?
not really that fun. It's just kind of slow. It's basic.
Oh my God,
It's just not that fun at all.
Also, when you do the butt bounce, SpongeBob just drops like a sack of potatoes, and that is just so annoying.
The bosses are nothing special. I mean, you fight a giant jellyfish in the first stage.
Whoa!
Okay.
I thought that... I'm pretty sure that I made the annotations after he favorited the video, but maybe I didn't, and I still haven't finished them. At least when I'm making this reaction video, so... What? Or does he just remember it from the game?
In the fourth world, which you'd assume is the final world, I mean, this level's called Final Stop. You fight the Flying Dutchman, and
Seriously, why is it called the final stop if there's one world afterwards? That's like if you put Bowser's Castle, as in Bowser's final castle, in the 7th world of Super Mario Brothers. I mean, just, no. You would not tease us making that the final castle. And then you say Peach says, "Thank you, Mario, but you gotta save the last Toad." Just imagine that. That would be the dumbest thing ever.
By the way, you fight a boss at the end of each world before you go into the next world.
There's a SpongeBob game that has like Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. That's kind of okay, I think.
Flying Dutchman? What? I think he means Dutchman.
That's for the PS2, the Game Boy Advance, I think.
The Revenge of the Flying Dutchman was on the PS2, GameCube, Game Boy Advance. I've played the PS2 version, and it sucked. I did play it as a kid, but even when I was very young, I didn't like it back then either. I never liked the game. Ever. It just sucked. It was boring, so I got rid of it. No more Revenge of the Flying Dutchman for me. At least on consoles.
And these bosses...
Just check out Wiki or something. Ow, 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 ow.
As in home consoles.
Ow.
I wonder if he inspired that from my first ever video. When I did the stupid ow, 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 ow thing where I actually showed my face. That was dumb. And that was my first video. Mario Brothers and the Beeping Claw, guys.
Sorry, SpongeBob. It's okay.
Be really annoying. I wouldn't call them hard, I just call them quite annoying. They're not the worst things in the world, but...
By annoying, there's a difference between hard and annoying. Hard means that they will kick your big fat bum many, many times, whereas annoying means that they're not that difficult, but they will hurt you a lot, and when you beat them, you feel annoyed while you're fighting them, and when you beat them, which isn't too hard, but it is annoying, you feel satisfied, and yeah. Annoying isn't super hard. Annoying is just that the enemies, while the bosses aren't extremely hard to kill, they are still tough, and they will annoy you while you fight them.
They can be annoying sometimes and get loads of cheap hits on you. You might even die once or twice when fighting
And also the
them.
hard thing has 100, like Luigi's Mansion. That's a good thing. Woohoo!
Speaking of...
So it's talking about something about hearts and Luigi's Mansion and 100.
Whatever he said.
the difficulty, this game can get quite challenging sometimes, and that's not because the game was designed amazingly. It's more of the cheap level design and the cheap enemy placement and the knockback.
And the odd platforming, or no, not odd platforming, I mean slippery platforming, but it's still better than Creature from the Classic Power on the DS, and the low viewpoint.
Which, in case you don't know, makes a recipe for some really annoying levels. But this game isn't super difficult, and I managed to beat it without using a continue. But it is still quite a hard game.
Continues?
Sometimes.
Really? Continues? You get no you get without continues? That's a good thing?
You get 3 continues in the game, but I didn't have to use any while I did my playthrough for the review, but I did use continues while I was making the review. So, yeah.
Are there any good things about the game? Well, the graphics aren't bad, I guess. And the music, while not amazing, is possibly the best.
That's from SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, but does that look like something's like real?
It's a bit about the game. But overall, the game...
Don't talk about SpongeBob SquarePants the movie yet. I haven't spoken about it yet, so you won't. Okay?
It was just so...
As in the review.
Nah. It's not very fun. The hit detection's wonky. The levels...
Whatever he said.
I seriously did not hear a single thing that he said, so I can't say anything whatsoever. Congratulations.
Design is annoying, the enemies are cheap, and overall it's just not the best game to play. Plus, it's incredibly short. I beat the game in like 40 minutes. That's right, 40 minutes. It's not that hard. It's really short, and the game shouldn't give you too much trouble.
Darn axes, you will get your butt cut. Or his pants get ripped.
Well, maybe for a beginner you'll have trouble, such in this level, Sandy's tree.
Now, back when I was much younger, I had a lot of trouble on the tree, but now I'm really good at it. I can only imagine playing through this tree and Creature from the Krusty Krab on the DS. It will be an absolute nightmare.
You have to do a lot of platforming, and with these slippery controls, it's not the easiest thing in the world, let me just tell you that. But I'm pretty good at this game, and I played this game when I was younger, so...
Which is actually pretty obvious that I played the game when I was younger, because, you know, this exists.
The peanut. It's peanut butter jelly time. It's peanut butter jelly time. Come on, that rhymes with peanut. Nuts that have been peed on, you know those? Peanut butter jelly.
That's enough of the stupid beeping review.
Oh, I'm actually kind of good at this tree climb, but it can still be annoying, and plus pants give you extra lives. Spatulas are basically this game's coins, but you can't buy any.
This is like Mario, but with SpongeBob.
Hey, just like Donkey Kong Country, Sonic the Hedgehog, Mega Man, Castlevania, and every other point A to B linear 2D platformer in existence! Yay!
Yeah, you know it's Mario.
Don't call it a rip-off of Mario, you're basically calling every linear 2D platformer a rip-off of Mario. What about Pac-Land? That game came out before Super Mario. You can't call that game a rip-off of Mario because it came out first. So don't you even dare do that.
And you know what, Bob?
With them, they just give you extra lives if you collect 100 of them.
What did he say there?
Yeah. Whatever he said.
Anyway. Seriously, sometimes I just can't understand a single word what the beep he's saying.
And yeah, there are big items at the air levels, which takes you to the next level, and yeah, it's pretty simple.
Now here's rating.
Overall, SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge is the ultimate example of a game that's...
But I find the game is okay, but I haven't played it a long time ago. But my Game Boy Advance games are actually sold it from the yard sale at GameStop. That makes me sad. Maybe I wish I was going back to the past to play these games are awesome.
just...
Don't worry, I'm sure you can find it cheap on eBay.
The graphics are okay. The music's above average, that's one thing. But the game isn't very fun. There's practically no replay value. I mean, the game uses a password system. Now, it only has 4 characters, which is actually pretty good, but why not have a save system? I know the game is incredibly short, but still, a save system would have been nice. There's no...
For those of you who didn't want to play all 40 minutes of the game, like me when I was younger.
reason to go back to the levels because there's no extra collectibles and there's no different ending if you collect enough of a certain item. No, it's just one ending which is not very rewarding. Overall, this game's just meh. The level design is annoying and the bosses can be annoying. And overall, this game receives a D- from me. I do not recommend this game if you're...
Why THQ games are good at these SpongeBob games? Because they're smart. Okay, even though they are actually finally dead, now Heavy Iron had to help Activision to make the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of the Water, for the next gen console, the third gen console. That's been crazy. Yeah. That makes me crazy.
Wait, is this true? Is Heavy Iron Studios actually making a game based on the new SpongeBob movie? Well, hope on next gen consoles. Hopefully it'll be like Battle for the Bikini Bottom. That'll be amazing, but he might just be lying, and yeah. This game was made by Heavy Iron, so it's not that amazing. So keep that in mind. Please. Plus, remember, but after Creature from the Krusty Krab, from what I'm aware of, every SpongeBob game after that practically went downhill. I played the Atlantis SquarePants game on the Wii, and that sucked. And the DS version of Creature from the Krusty Krab, I don't even want to talk about that game.
If you must play it, then go ahead. Well, I say just skip this game. Never played the PS1 version, but I've heard it's received similar reviews to this, so yes, don't play that one either. This game's just But anyway,
but if you want to play the game again just to relive some nostalgic memories, then go ahead.
Will be
How about the SpongeBob game, the 90 Nightmare for the PC? You know, that's pretty memorable.
This is a review on GBA SpongeBob games, and the PC is not the GBA.
The SpongeBob SquarePants movie for the Game Boy Advance.
I remember this game as a kid.
Anyway, this was a game
I told you to wait.
that was based on the 2004 movie of the same name, and whether you like the movie or not, we can all agree. Hopefully, we can all agree that the next SpongeBob movie is probably going to be worse than the SpongeBob movie we already have, which actually isn't that bad.
You're possibly the only one who disagrees.
I think we preferred that. Hopefully,
The game basically follows the plot of the movie, so all I'm going to say is watch the movie if you want to know what the story is of the game.
or I wish I could get the Blu-ray version of that. I wish.
The end. The game has a
I wonder when the last time he watched the movie was. Last time I watched the movie, at least when I made this, was like a few days before. And the movie is still good, in my opinion.
total of 6 worlds, each with 4 levels and with a boss at the end, with one exception, which is actually the final world
I don't know why I didn't just jump cut to there, but whatever.
of the game, which has a boss right after the first stage, and then a boss at the end of the world, which is the final boss of the game with King Neptune.
And by the way, there are 6 worlds in the game.
The game is another point A to B platform,
But it's better than Super Sponge, if you know.
but there's something...
Yes, I do know that it's better than Super Sponge.
It shows it's just by watching my footage of the game.
OMG.
What the beep? Wait, what the beep? I mean, what the beep, seriously. Well, I'll be carrying on now.
It's just by watching my footage of the game.
OMG.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Whatever you say.
The game looks much better. The game uses more of a hand-drawn style, and it fits much better for SpongeBob. And it just looks more appealing. Now, we all have our own opinions, I know, but personally I much prefer this style. I mean, it looks a lot more like SpongeBob, and it's definitely more appealing to my eyes. It's bright and colourful, it's got a nice hand-drawn style, and it just looks a lot like SpongeBob. Not like the previous SpongeBob game didn't look like SpongeBob, but this one looks more like SpongeBob, and looks much nicer.
These checkpoints? Really? Yeah.
Are you confused at those checkpoints? Did you always play the game on hard when you were a kid? I don't know.
Well, at least in my opinion, if you prefer...
Or just a younger kid.
There are jump bucket enemies, but the sound effects on the redneck ones, they sound like beeping bungee zombies from Plants vs. Zombies. Really, they copy that sound effects? We sued PopCap to reuse that sound effects.
I think that this game came out before Plants vs. Zombies. I don't know when Plants vs. Zombies came out. Like, I'll double check just so my facts aren't correct. or are correct. No. Are there any articles on Plants vs Zombies? I don't know. For according to Wikipedia, it was made in 2009. So, how could a game released in 2004 steal sound effects from a game released in 2009? How? Don't tell me they time travel, because that is just so highly unlikely that it's not even funny.
And stuff, that's fine with me, but I prefer hand-drawn stuff, so whatever. This game has its own game.
Desert theme. That's pretty cool.
And that's with
I don't remember a desert from the movie, but it's there.
Patrick.
That's the same dollar bags as the Bungie zombie from Plants vs Zombies.
What? I need to listen to this.
That's with Patrick.
That's the same dollar bags as the Bungie zombie from Plants vs Zombies.
There's a Bungie zombie in Plants vs Zombies? Well, I've never played Plants vs Zombies, so I wouldn't know.
I already hear it.
Patrick followed.
Well, guess what? This game came out first. So, yeah.
You for the whole game and know you.
Now, this kid, or MikeyAngryBirds, he basically calls things rip-offs of other things which came out after them. Well, it's hard to explain, but he basically calls things rip-offs to other things, even though the things that he's calling it a rip-off to came out afterwards. It's just weird.
There's no parts in the game where you play as Patrick. You're forced to play as SpongeBob, but Patrick always follows you, and you use Patrick.
At least he has more of a role than he does in Super Sponge, where he's barely even in the game.
To make his pants, to use his pants as a double jump, or just a floating ability which helps with platforming, and you and Patrick can even charge up a super run, which basically makes you turn into Sonic Paper Ninja!
I bet he's excited.
Oh my god! Oh my god! This is my town as well! This is too much fun! This is front side of egg! This is the next piece of pizza thing! My god! Oh my god! Mommy, I'm serious, man! It's not just about number 5! Coming soon!
Yeah. Whatever he said.
So yeah, as you can probably see, this game is an improvement over the previous game. For that reason alone, I mean, you can go faster. That's an immediate thing that makes the game better. It makes it less boring, and
Damn ball!
there is still cheap enemy placements.
Yeah. Whatever he said.
Sometimes this guy just doesn't make much sense. You seriously don't always make sense, MikeyAngryBirds. Whether it's your bad English or just you mumbling very quietly, or just things I don't understand, it's just weird.
Deal with some cheap deaths. The game does control better than the other game, and it's not a bad game at all.
Okay.
I can definitely tell you that.
Oh my god, that's pens!
That's right. So there's ice cream sundaes which give you an
Wait,
extra
what?
bad game at all. I can definitely tell you that.
Oh my god, that's pens!
That's right.
Pens? What the beep? I don't remember any pens in the game.
So there's ice cream sundaes which give you an extra life.
And he's gonna correct me in the comments, and he's not gonna give me a specific time frame, and that is going to be really annoying. So if you're going to correct me, telling me what you actually said, then please put it in the comments and put in your time frame. I'd love that.
Instead of Krabby Patties, or underpants, I forgot it, there are ice cream. I love ice cream. Maybe they should make a restaurant with ice cream on it.
A restaurant with ice cream on it. What?
As these.
Like, I'm a goofy goober, yeah. You're the goofy goober, yeah. We're all goofy goober on your heads. Okay, that's a...
Not everyone's a goofy goober. And I know that for a fact.
worst song ever.
Clam things which you can use to buy items in Mindy's store, and
Mindy's has a store? Like, okay, how many games always have, like, the character has his or hers store? That's crazy.
Do you have a problem with games having stores? I mean, someone has to own the store. You can't just go into a store that no one owns, because if that was true, then you could just steal everything.
Which are basically checkpoints, but these do not appear in hard mode, which makes hard mode harder, even though it's still not super hard. In Mindy's store, you can buy a grand total of 3 things. You can buy extra lives, buckets, which I'll get a bit more into a bit later.
As in, fairly much longer, as in like 10 or 20 more seconds-ish. Somewhere in between that, I guess.
And special secret levels. What the buckets do is that
Oh, 7 seconds! Sorry about that.
they basically stop your movement, and you can basically kill enemies all around you with the bucket. As in, it's basically a screen nuke, and it's actually pretty useful in the trench levels because of the wind. It literally stops you dead in your path, so the wind doesn't affect you. But in all other levels, not even the wind can harness the power. No, I'm saying it wrong. Not even the wind can push SpongeBob when he's using an everyday tool to put water inside. practically useless.
Yeah, that's a callback. That's a redneck song. Yeah, I know, that's...
So that's
Yeah. Whatever he said.
That sheep noise, that's pretty stupid.
about that bucket.
Even though the games are awesome, the console games are awesome, and the handheld games are awesome, maybe I should give it as one of the best games ever made by Nickelodeon and THQ combined.
Like,
You mean the game that I'm playing? Or the SpongeBob graphics movie on the GBA? Okay.
there's also a time limit which is extremely generous on easy, but it can get kind of annoying on hard, but not too annoying. Speaking of difficulties, there are 3 difficulties: easy, medium, and hard. Easy basically gives you 12 lives and you're invincible. On medium, you have 6 lives and you have less health, or you're just invincible. On hard, you have 3
This bit proves that my videos are unscripted.
lives, there's no checkpoints, and you basically, well, it's basically harder because it's hard mode. So,
Or you get cheated if you use glitches in this game. That's crazy. Yeah, glitches are fun. Second.
It's not the console version of Battle for Bikini Bottom. There aren't that many glitches. The only glitches I'm aware of are the 1-frame trick, so you can do extra jumps after charging, which helps with your speed, and the part in the fight with King Neptune where there's infinite clams on the top left of the screen.
Double, or Dable.
Wait, and there are also a few parts where you can fall through the floor and beat the levels up faster. But there aren't that many glitches in the game.
plus items are more expensive.
Just watch this game's tool-assisted speedrun if you want to see more of the glitches, which there aren't that many of.
On medium and hard. And
Which was actually and I actually used a clip from that tool-assisted speedrun to show the Sanic bit.
you have even less health in hard, so yay for that. You you can find these hidden doors and levels which take you to bonus stages, where you basically have to get to the end of time. It's a pretty simple concept, and these bonus stages, for the most part, are pretty simple. They can get kind of tough sometimes, especially on hard when you have a lot less time. But once you win these,
those time challenges are really hard, especially on hard.
you can basically get yourself a reward, such as some more clams or
Oh, now it's like glitchy. Okay, I think we need a help. We need some help.
You need a help. I don't know what you mean by a help, but whatever. Because a help is not good English.
I think we need help.
We need help makes more sense.
I think this is... And that's cancelled.
some more clams or a bucket or extra life.
So that's something else. So sorry, it's this reaction video is cancelled, so that's sad news for you.
It's cancelled even though I'm watching it right now.
Or extra lives.
Let me see if I need to try and fix it. Maybe go to this channel. Then
Tough sometimes. A reward, such as some more clams or a bucket or extra lives. It's basically a random selection game, but whatever.
that's everybody hates.
Even some levels where you're driving in a patty rat wagon or running
in the streets.
on foot, and you basically
I didn't say running on streets.
have to get to the end. You've got to dodge obstacles for a minute.
Yeah. Whatever he said.
And not lose health. It's practically impossible to lose these on easy because you're
I thought this is gonna be glitchy or something. Maybe just not cancel it. Just get you.
invincible for crying out loud. But
And he's saying this stuff out loud in the video. Keep the stuff in your mind.
on normal and hard, you do need to be careful. But on easy, you could just literally do nothing for a minute and then you'll win. So yeah, this is a nice change of pace. However, these stages aren't that hard, but it is a nice change of pace.
And on easy, it's impossible to lose. I mean, if you're playing the game on easy, all you need to do is put down your Game Boy Advance or DS or controller, wait for a minute, and then boom, you win.
The music in this game is actually pretty good. I mean, there are some catchy tunes, the songs sound nice, and overall these are songs I actually can remember. Surely they're not the best songs in the world, but compared to the other SpongeBob game I reviewed, they're actually a lot better. They're nice and catchy, they're upbeat, and overall they're pretty good songs, and the sound effects are pretty basic, and there's not really any voice acting, so yeah.
But there's more voice acting than in the other game. I can tell you that.
Patrick's like, ooh, and SpongeBob.
At the end of each world, you fight a boss, and these bosses are pretty easy, and from what I'm aware of, they're all from the film, which is pretty cool. But the thing is that these bosses are pretty easy, and that does kind of suck, except for
Quite like Skull Monkeys.
one boss.
He really likes Skull Monkeys. I really want to see this guy's video game collection.
And that is with the exception of the second boss, which is incredibly easy, and who I don't even remember from the film. Either that or he's coloured wrong, I don't know. But that was literally my entire fight with the boss. Pathetically easy. At least all the other bosses you have to wait for their weak spots, but not that guy. Nope. Are there any bad things about the game? Yes.
Yep.
While the game does control better than the last game, the controls, I still can't quite call them perfect. That and Patrick's glide, while useful, does does feel like you lose. It does feel like you lose all momentum when you use it. Plus the charge thing you lose right after you jump. Surely there's a frame perfect trick where you can do more jumps with it and keep your speed. But that is a frame perfect trick. And those are pretty difficult. Plus, you can't really buy that many things in the shop, which kind of sucks. That, and the game can get annoying sometimes. I mean, the game doesn't get too hard, but especially in Shelf City, this game can get quite annoying sometimes, especially on hard. But
I know that it's just a video, as in my original video talking, but he's being quiet, I'm being quiet, I just can't say anything. But if you want me to say anything, I'll say random things.
Still never lost to continue. And this game is longer than the previous SpongeBob game, so that's a good thing.
He has no comment except for making that weird noise.
I'd also like to mention that for whatever reason, in the final level, there's actually an area where you
As in the final boss. Not the final level, the final boss.
can get tons of, you know, clams.
I wonder if he knew that before. He looks kind of bored now. Yet he still favorited it.
Why is this here? I have no beeping idea, but it's there. So if you want to get more clams, go to the final fight with Neptune and get them.
Even though you have to beat the entire game in order to get there.
Plus, the theme song from the show is the only song from the movie that is actually in the game, which does kind of suck, but the game still has good sound.
And just to let you know that the theme song from this game is actually taken right out of the Bikini Bottom game for the GBA, as in Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Track, so I can tell you that. But this game is actually pretty decent. It has some good graphics, there's some good music. The game isn't really that boring, it's just not the most fun in the world. And overall, the game can be enjoyable, it's just not the most enjoyable thing.
Oh my god,
While the bosses are easy, they are still pretty interesting and not terrible. And this is still a pretty decent game. That, and I do...
He did learn to stop talking about stupid things while the video's playing, sort of, so that's nice.
Love the credits theme, which is basically the bonus round theme for the Battle for Bikini Bottom game on the Game Boy Advance, but I don't care because it is a good song.
Looks like SpongeBob's dancing.
This whole game soundtrack is based on Battle for Bikini Bottom on the GBA, and in case you're wondering why I'm not reviewing that, it's because I don't own it, and I only review GBA SpongeBob games I own.
I'm surprised he actually didn't complain that I didn't review that many GBA SpongeBob games.
And also just let you know, you press A to jump, hold B to run, press down while in the air to do a slam, hold R to do your running thing, and then release to run. Use L to use your bucket, and press A while in midair to use Patrick's parachute or paraglider pants thingy majiggy. Password.
They're passwords.
One more thing that sucks is the password system. First off, there are now 6 characters, which isn't great.
Seriously, in any of things, no continues, no save game, and
It wasn't quite like that. I mean, surely not every game had continues, but a lot of games did have continues. Plus, there were games that did have save systems on the NES. For example, The Legend of Zelda had a save system. Final Fantasy had a save system. And one thing I find annoying is that the Japanese versions of some games had save systems while the non-Japanese versions didn't, which was annoying. For example, Metroid. In the Japanese version, Metroid had a save system, but in the non-Japanese versions, it had a password system. A really long and tedious password system, which sucked!
passwords, and you'll get game over for this.
Too many, but...
Don't worry, the game does have continues. I'm pretty sure it's infinite continues. Plus, I never got a game over while I played through the game both on easy and hard, so... yeah.
Now we have to deal with the characters' faces as the password.
That, and I haven't even been, and I know I have not been playing the SpongeBob SquarePants movie on the GBA as long as Super Sponge, so that's something. But I have owned it for a couple of years. I definitely have owned it longer than Battle for Bikini Bottom. And I don't remember when I bought it, but it was a while ago, let me just say that.
And some of these are just unrecognisable. I mean, look at this. What the beep is this beeping thing?
It's a vivid ice cream monster from the bird world.
Don't worry, I know, but but for people who haven't played the game or watched the movie, how would you know? If you just bought this game and you were looking at the password system, or if you want to stop the game and then you saw the password system, and if you wanted to write it down, how would you know that was the ice cream monster? Just how? It looks nothing like the ice cream monster. It looks like a weird, it just looks so weird. I'm sorry you can't see it, but whatever.
Yeah, that's the ice cream monster from the film. Just shut up already.
No way, it's the ice cream monster, but that's I only know that because I played the game, but how would anyone who's not played this game would know that? And for people who are fans of SpongeBob, how will you know what these characters' names are? How will you be able to write them down? Sure, you could draw them, but I'm sure that none of us are artists or anything, so that will be pretty hard. And this password system just sucks.
That's weird.
Overall, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Did he have a problem with me taking the game out of the Game Boy Advance? Just wondering.
The Game Boy
Wait, I took out the DS, but whatever.
Advance is actually a pretty decent game. While it may not be the best game in the world, and it's certainly not the most fun game in the world, it's still a pretty decent game. The graphics are good, the music is good, the game controls fine.
I'm being quiet because I don't need to talk.
The game was pretty decent. I give this game a C. While it's not an amazing game, if you find this game for cheap online, I say pick it up. It's actually a pretty decent game.
And my SpongeBob plush looks ugly.
Now, one thing I can say is that it's not as good as the console version of the game, but if you still want to play it, it is still a pretty decent alternative. And the PC version of the game is just, a point-and-click game, but I
like the neighborhood. Yeah.
So, The Neverhood is the only point-and-click game that he could think of. Okay.
Take that, Clayman. Yeah, I know. How about I not get fired if I don't use plushes like they used to?
Take that version, and
Yeah, don't use ugly plushes.
I'm not planning to. But that's enough of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, the game on the Game Boy Advance. But wow, that's a lot of games. I'm going to review one more game, making this my first ever triple review. And there won't be many more triple reviews in the future, but whatever. And that last game will be SpongeBob SquarePants Lights, Camera, Pans for the Game Boy Advance, which has a ton of different names depending on what language you're playing the game in. So let's play this game.
I mean, in French it's called something like SpongeBob or Bob the Sponge, Silence on Tour. And in Spanish it's called something like Bob Sponge, Lights, Camera, Sponge. And there's a bunch of other names in different languages, but I could not translate them. I know in German it's called, like, SpongeBob SquarePants Film AB. Whatever AB means. And those are the only ones I remember.
Hey, and this is our final SpongeBob game. Or my final SpongeBob game, because I don't know any more GBA SpongeBob games. And that's the focus for this review.
And this kid isn't even complaining, even though I thought he would.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Plus, if I was going to review all of the GBA SpongeBob games, this video, the review would be a lot longer. And I mean a lot longer.
The plot for the GBA version of the game is that the creators of the show...
Rockstar is different. Maybe I've seen the PS2 in the other consoles as a...
Actually, what I showed you in the review was the European cover. I think this guy is unaware that games have different covers depending on where you live. Not always, but sometimes, most definitely.
Different sponsor. You know, this game is actually released in either 2005 or 2006.
It was released in 2005, and I'm showing you the European cover. The European Game Boy Advance cover, but all of the European versions have the same cover, and all of the North American versions have a different cover from the European version, but they're all the same.
I think we need Heavy Iron to help this game.
Called The New Adventures of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are going to film a episode of the show in Bikini Bottom, but guess what? Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy aren't there!
Caught again!
Oh no! Diddy Kong has returned from the dead! I'm back, guys! And it's good to be back! Beep off, Diddy. Ow!
Stupid!
And since this is so terrible, the creators of the show sent SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, and Squidward to save Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy once and for all. And it's a SpongeBob game, so the story doesn't really matter. Let's get on to the gameplay. In the game, there are a total of 4 worlds.
Each game has like looks so similar to the SpongeBob SquarePants movie because the graphics are the same. The levels are different, and even though the music is different and the same. Okay.
With 4 levels, and at the very end.
Well, here's the thing. The graphics use a similar style to the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game, and the music's based on the music from SpongeBob SquarePants the movie on the GBA, which is based on Battle for the Bikini Bottom on the GBA, and yeah, it's a long cycle.
There's a final level. You mean like in my old 3D games? Yes. It's just like that, Sonic, only that there's not multiple playthroughs to be played through. There's just one playthrough and then you get to the final level in the entire game. These worlds include...
Wait, was that song used in Monster House for GBA for some of the rooms? There was a similar song in that game, which sounds like that. I used to own that game, but then I sold it because I was a little kid and I hated it. And just to let you know, the boss theme in Monster House on the GBA and the menu theme for Spider-Man 3 on the GBA are both the exact same song. No, seriously, look it up.
The Mermaid Lair, the Shady Shoals Rest Home, the beach, and I do not care what it's called, even though it is called Goo Lagoon, but whatever, who cares? And
I literally forgot it was called Goo Lagoon until that.
last but not least, a random movie studio, all to save Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy and get yourself your own parts in the TV show. Now, before you get mad at me, I will mostly be showing the first level, or the first world, as well as a few of the mini games, and that is because of a flaw that I will mention later, and that is also why, that same flaw is also why I use YouTube to show you the next 3 worlds.
Seriously?
Which I wouldn't do again. He says, seriously? Well, just watch the review and you'll find out.
In the game, there are a total of 4 playable characters: SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, and Squidward. And they...
The graphics look similar to the movie. What? Oh, blame
Are you talking about the actual movie or the GBA port of the movie?
THQ to change the different graphics. Seriously. What the heck? Let's continue on.
He's angry that the game looks the same as, you know, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie on the GBA. And that is just not very nice at all. I mean, that's just being mean. Does he have a problem with games that look similar? They were both made by the same company, Way Forward Technologies. So don't complain about something so silly. And I just heard the postbox. I think, even though it's nothing to mention, even though I just mentioned it, I'm just weird sometimes.
Moved Mr. Krabs and Plankton for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure
Please make more crabs in this game.
What? I need to hear that again.
What the heck? Let's continue on.
moved Mr. Krabs and Plankton for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure
Please make more crabs in this game. THQ. Oh, sorry. Huh? Sorry.
the Game Boy.
Something went wrong. Was it because he yelled more crabs? I don't know. More Crabs is just a weird internet meme. It's not my favourite one. I prefer Sonic and the Luigi Death Stare. But More Crabs is just a bit odd.
Advance can handle 2 more characters. This game is...
Well, probably coming like cool if they have Link people to play as 4 characters. That's gonna be cool.
There's another sim...
Well, it does not have multiplayer, but I don't care. I mean, it's a GBA game. Not many people barely even played multiplayer on the GBA. And I know that for a fact. I think most of the things that people did with link cables was to trade Pokemon. That's my best guess.
Point A to B platformers, unlike the console version, which is basically a Mario Party type game. So, SpongeBob definitely liked 2D platforming on the GBA, I must.
Out of all of the GBA SpongeBob games I'm aware of, which is 7, they're all 2D platformers. So, yeah.
Say, haha, GBA and say, right.
THQ.
Or A and say, hey, who cares?
He's getting a bit angry at THQ even though they're dead.
They have created software district for the PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. Then moved into Ubisoft to make these games, like... 3 years in development? Okay. Well, it's 2014 if you know.
Before you start the game, you have 2 difficulties, easy or normal, or as I like to call them, very easy, and so pathetically easy that even a 2-year-old could beat it without much trouble. In easy, you're invincible, and in normal, you have health. But luckily, each character has their own health bar, 2 hits and then they're dead.
They copied Donkey Kong Country if your character died, then you have to get your other character to get back.
You can...
But the game plays very different from Donkey Kong Country. Plus, in Donkey Kong Country, there was only 2 playable characters, and the other one always followed you. And one hit, and then one of them would die, and then you change into the other one. But that's not the case in Lights Camera Pants. You could change from the flying Lights Camera Pants, or you could do that in Donkey Kong Country. But you have more characters to change from in Lights Camera Pants. I mean, it's not the exact same as Donkey Kong Country. Man.
No DK barrels, no bananas, anything. Just shut up.
By collecting these TV videos, which either heals a character completely or gives you an extra life, and on easy it does the latter because, you know, you're invincible basically. Now each character has their own special abilities. SpongeBob is the smallest character, so he can fit through small gaps that the other characters can't. He has some pretty good...
Now the game does sometimes make you change characters in order to get through the levels, but considering how short and easy the game is, it's not the most common thing in the world.
attacks on the ground.
You won't be needing to change your character like every 10 seconds, and that's a good thing.
By the way, there are 2 attacks you can do on the ground, a punch and a running move. SpongeBob has some really good ground attacks, but his air attack sucks. He blows himself up and he doesn't really gain that much height.
And considering there aren't really that many long pits in this game, or parts where you need to use it to your advantage to not get hit, that is something that I had to mention.
Kind of sucks. Then there's Patrick, who is my personal favourite. Patrick has some pretty good ground attacks. He has an ice cream, which may arc over everything, but you can still hit things.
He's no ice cream from that Goopy Goober restaurant ice cream.
Plus, and if you still think that the ice cream sucks, it actually helps when an enemy is on another platform and you need to hit them. Plus, if you still think that it sucks, you can still hit them if you're right next to the enemy. Plus, if that's not good enough, you could just cartwheel into them, or you could change your character and use one of their attacks.
Restaurant thing? Man, maybe he's broken. Maybe he could prefer throwing Sundays at enemies. That's extremely funny.
With it.
So, I don't think Patrick got them from the Goofy Goober place. I mean, the Goofy Goober place was exclusive to the movie, from my knowledge.
Plus, he has a cartwheel, which is almost as good as SpongeBob slide. That and his butt bounce really gives him a lot of height, which is also really cool. That, and when you're in a boat, Patrick is the absolute fastest. I would explain the boat sections, but Sonic won't let me.
Yeah. Whatever he said.
Was he even saying actual words? He was just making weird sounds, which didn't even sound like laughing, so what I have to say is what? Da beep.
Then we have Sandy, who can walk on spikes, which is an awesome thing and the only positive about her. And she does have some pretty good ground attacks, but her air attack sucks. And I use her the least, except when spikes are a problem, which they are usually not, especially on easy when you're basically invincible to nearly everything.
In case you don't know, Sandy is invincible to spikes. The end.
Last but not least is Squidward. Squidward has the worst ground attacks, and he's the slowest character and the tallest character. But Squidward's air attacks are amazing. He literally goes so high when you use them, which does help with platforming.
But not too much. It only really helps in the first world and the last world the most. Because most of the other time, you could just use Patrick's butt bounce to get high enough. There's not really... There is platforming, but it's not very difficult platforming. I'm just going to say that.
And the cool thing is that you can actually switch characters on the fly just by pressing the R button, which is actually a really awesome feature. Press A to jump, press B to punch, L does nothing, and R lets you switch characters. It's pretty simple, and you tap the D-pad twice to run. The controls are simple, and they work just fine, in my opinion. And Patrick's... in my opinion. The graphics are pretty good, in my opinion. They look similar to the ones...
He hates them just because they're taken out of the previous SpongeBob game on the GBA.
In fact, SpongeBob's and Patrick's models just came out of Battle of Bikini... No, not Battle.
When the times I say Battle of Bikini Bottom in the video, I meant the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. The Battle of Bikini Bottom game on the GBA looks very different to both of these two games.
It's the SpongeBob SquarePants movie on the same console, and they look pretty good.
In my opinion, and SpongeBob's just dancing, but whatever.
In my opinion, and the levels are still bright and colourful, and all of the other characters look pretty good as well.
I said San. Was I going to say Sandy or Sanic? I don't remember.
So, the graphics are pretty nice in this game, let me just say that. The music is also pretty good. It's based on the soundtrack from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game, which is based on the soundtrack in Battle of Bikini Bottom on the GBA. So it's a soundtrack based on a soundtrack based on another soundtrack, and it's pretty good. Here's the remix to the
SpongeBob, your dancing is weird.
credits theme from the previous SpongeBob game on GBA and the previous one before that, and it's a pretty good remix in my opinion.
Well, the GBA version of Battle of Bikini Bottom, it was used in the bonus stages. In the credits, it was just the theme song from the TV show. And in the credits of Battle of Bikini Bottom on the GBA, it actually had the lost episode in the background, which was pretty interesting. Oh no, the audio has broken. I don't know if this actually happened. I don't know if it's just a YouTube problem or if it actually happened.
I think it's a pretty good
but the audio is broken.
Previous SpongeBob game on GBA and the previous one before that.
So basically, at 42:50, the audio dies. That is unfortunate. And I'm not going to watch the rest of the video if there's no audio. I'm sorry. Do not make another reaction video of this because it won't be a reaction video. I am just fine with what I had. At the very least, it took the audio over 42 minutes to die. So only the last 12 minutes. And while there's a while, I say delete this off of YouTube just because the audio dies. I'll still have this reaction video up, but his video can just, this original video can just leave. But overall, despite the audio dying at the 42.15 minute mark, I still watched this and it was still okay. It wasn't amazing, but it was still okay. I'm not really going to favourite it or like it, but I'm not going to dislike it. It was still okay. And the audio dying is definitely going to stop me. But other than that, it's a typical reaction video from him. The problems of this reaction video are the usual problems for him, as in he rambles a lot, there are problems with his English, the actual description and the title are still incorrect as of the time I'm making this, and there's no point of correcting it if the video is glitchy. And other than those things, and the fact that he just complains about random things and he just says random things, and SpongeBob was still not that major, and I still couldn't quite tell when he was talking. I mean, the only things I could notice from SpongeBob really was when SpongeBob was dancing, and the ugliness of SpongeBob. SpongeBob will be staring into your soul forever. He'll keep staring into your soul. But anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Now, MikeyAngryBirds, I recommend you take this video off of YouTube, but I'm keeping mine on. So, that's something. But anyway, this is Big Bang Bot signing out. And it was still okay watching this, unfortunately, broken reaction video. But it was still interesting seeing it, and it didn't die too soon, so that was something. I mean, if it died in like 10 seconds, then I wouldn't have uploaded this, but it took 42 minutes, so that's something. Anyway, goodbye! Wait, I might get why he's apologising that his iPod's battery died. Is it because there was like some jump cut somewhere that I didn't notice, or was it because of the audio dying? Because I really want to know. Plus, sorry for my iPod's battery die. I've already explained that that's bad English, so yeah, that's something. But is this why he's apologising, or is there another reason? I mean, I can't notice it unless this is the reason why. But goodbye, guys. And this evil SpongeBob will be staring into your soul. I might as well put that with music.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty, trying to catch me riding dirty, trying to catch me riding dirty.